Hello everyone, this is Grandmaster Damian Lemos here for iChess.net. Welcome to this new deep dive where we'll be talking about e4, e5 from the black's point of view. So this is not an easy task to do, but I'll try my best and hopefully we can cover the main lines and the main ideas as well. And let me tell you that after one e4, the best move, in my opinion, for black is e5. For a simple reason. When we play e5, we also get the same space white has in the center, and of course we are likely to equalize when we play this move. Of course, the other openings are also good for black: Sicilian, Caro-Kann, but we have Scandinavian, the French, the Modern, the Pirc. We have all sorts of openings against e4. I should say defenses, not openings. When we play as black, we usually play defenses, but e5, again, I think it is the most solid approach. You'll see at the elite level, almost everybody plays e4, e5, and there is a reason. As I said, one of the main reasons is this is the best way for black to equalize, and of course once we equalize, then we can try fighting for the advantage. So after e4, e5, the main move for aces was, and will ever be, knight f3. And here we can choose knight f6, that is the Petrov, or knight c6. We have other sublines like d6, trying to play a Philidor as black, but in this deep dive series we'll focus on knight c6. I also made a deep dive on the Petrov, which is knight f6 here, and that is probably the best move if you want to equalize right from the get-go, but that is a system that is played a lot at the elite level. Knight c6 is also very good, inviting white to play an Italian with bishop c4, a Spanish game with bishop b5, or the Scotch with d4, and these are also key and main lines. So before studying knight f3, we need to analyze other moves from white. Of course, as I was saying, knight f3 is the main move, but he's got other moves, and these moves cannot be underestimated. He's got d4, the center gambit, I think it is called like that, or I just call it the d4 gambit on move 2. He can also try playing a move like knight c3. When he plays like this, he still wants to move his f2 pawn, so he might try a king's gambit, also known as the Vienna game. He can of course play f4 on move 2. This would be the well-known king's gambit. What else? Well, he can try moves like c3 or queen h5. Well, you probably know this mate. This is what we all learn when we start playing chess, but of course at this level this is not giving anything for white. In fact, that queen on h5 is a target, and we can easily get rid of the threats, and we can even get a better position out of the opening after queen h5. We'll also see this. So before we start analyzing the main lines after knight f3, knight c6, we need to see a lot of sublines, and once we understand those sublines, then we are ready to start analyzing the main lines after knight f3, knight c6. So this is of course an introduction, and next chapter onwards we'll start analyzing every single possibility from white on move 2. Well, not every single possibility, but the most important ones. If I don't mention a move, probably it's because you can play simple chess against it and still get a good position. For instance, I won't be analyzing b3. Of course, this move is not giving white much. I can just play knight f6, bishop c5, I get my pieces out, and I already have a better game as black. So, again, after next chapter onwards, we'll start working on the main moves in this position. So hopefully you enjoy my work. Hopefully this helps you be a good e4, e5 player. And let's get started on next video. Thank you.
Buying individual chess courses to add to your collection can get expensive, and waiting for the course or video you're looking for to go on sale can take weeks or even months. So, what's a chess enthusiast to do? Introducing the iChess Club, an exclusive community of chess enthusiasts that enjoy a wild range of benefits, including a permanent 40% discount on virtually all chess courses on our shop. Yes, 40% on all items anytime. But wait, there's more. For those of you who like physical DVDs, we offer unlimited free shipping on all items, anywhere in the world, anytime. You'll also get access to the entire iChess.club library, where we post over a dozen exclusive new videos every month. Our lineup of presenters is of much higher quality than anything you can find on YouTube, with exclusive videos by Simon Williams, Damian Lemos, Valerie Lilov, Brian Smith, Eric Rosen you can't find anywhere else, and even private appearances by world's top grandmasters such as Anatoly Karpov, Judith Polgar, Susan Polgar, and more. There are dozens of other benefits as well, such as an additional 5% off all items already on sale, a free 30-minute preview of every single product in our shop, and the ability to purchase items at the sale price up to 30 days after the sale has ended. There are so many benefits we can't possibly list them all in this video. So, join the iChess Club community today and start saving. Joining is easy and you can cancel at any time. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up today.
Alright, so we start our work on the e4, e5 system, and the first line we are going to study is the d4 gambit on move 2. I think this is also known as the center gambit as white, but I usually call it the d4 move on move 2, and this move cannot be underestimated, and we need to know how to react. This reminds me a bit of Sicilian, where white plays a quick d4. Well, here he's also trying to occupy the center. As we'll see, he's going to play queen takes d4, same as black does in the Scandinavian. So, as I said, we need to be careful, but the good news is black gets very good play and possibly the advantage too. As you know, it is not a good idea to bring the queen out at an early stage of the game. So after d4, clearly we have to take on d4, and here is where white has a lot of options. The main move by far is queen takes d4. He can also try playing knight f3, and here the good thing is we can just play knight c6, and we are transposing by a weird move order, but we are transposing into a Scotch game, and of course this is subject of other videos, possibly next deep dive, the Scotch, where we cover the Scotch, the Italian, the Spanish. Here it's like white playing knight f3, knight c6, d4 takes. So against d4, pawn takes. If he plays knight f3, we don't have to go crazy as black. We don't have to protect that pawn. We have to just care about development. We can just play knight c6, transposing to a line which is going to be part of our repertoire. So, instead of knight f3, as I was saying, queen takes d4 is the main move. And there are two other moves that requires attention. These moves are c3, and this is a real gambit because first he plays d4, then he plays c3, trying to sacrifice material and getting development in return. So c3 is a line we need to be careful. And the other move is bishop c4. And this is like another gambit, but here, after bishop c4, we can just play knight c6. And when he plays this move, we can just play bishop c5. And again, we are transposing into a line from the Italian game. And of course, we'll see this later on in this course, or maybe on the next deep dive. It depends on the amount of lines we cover in this one, but sooner or later this is going to be covered in this e4, e5 series. Studying this line here doesn't make any sense yet because we want to keep the order between the lines we study. The knight f3, knight c6, as I said in the introduction, this whole world of this knight f3, knight c6, we'll study it later once we make sure we understood all the sublines, d4, the king's gambit, f4, knight c3, bishop c4. So, as you probably noticed, there are a lot of possible transpositions, so it is good to be aware of those. So after d4 it takes, as I said, bishop c4, we can just try transposing into something we know, or we will know, with knight c6 and bishop c5. If he plays knight f3, again we transpose into well-known territory, the Scotch, with knight c6. And now we'll move on to the main moves. Queen takes d4, and gambit with c3. So first we'll start with queen takes d4. And against c3, this is just a heads up, we are not going to take the c3 pawn. We could, but then after pawn takes, apart from this move, where white gets decent development and good counterplay, I think this move is stronger. And then, well, imagine we take on b2, it's like we are grabbing too many pawns, but we don't have any development, and this is extremely dangerous. This is actually what we are trying to avoid as black. And this is exactly what white wants to do. Two bishops in good diagonals, great development. Every single piece we have is on the initial first rank, so there's no point in playing this as black. Theory says black after d5 he's doing okay. d5, by the way, is a great move because we give some material back, and we also make sure our pieces got better options. So it is good to give some material back in this case, but still, I think there's no need to allow this counterplay by white. After c3, we are not going to play this. Our move is going to be d5, and we'll see this on the next video. But now we'll focus on queen takes d4. So, well, this is the most logical move from white, taking on d4 with the queen, and this move, we have to play it. There is nothing better than this. Knight c6, we develop a piece, we attack the queen on d4, and white, he usually goes queen to e3. If he moves the queen somewhere else, then he's not achieving much. Well, queen c3, by the way, is the worst move out there because we have bishop b4 and we win the game on the spot. But let us say moves like queen d2, and this is not good because the queen is in front of the bishop. He's not developing at all. I can just play a move like knight f6, and suddenly black has a lot of development. We are white is far behind in development, and then after knight c3 I can even play bishop b4 or bishop c5. I castle very soon, rook e8, d5. I mean, it is visible that black is much better because I simply have more development, and white is struggling with the queen on d2, his piece is on the first rank, the e-file. So after knight c6, as I was saying, queen e3 is the real move from white. If he plays this system, if he knows theory, if he's prepared before the game, he's going to play queen e3. This is what every white player does when he plays this line. And just to comment a bit of queen d1, I think here, to say the least, we equalize by playing this. Now if knight c3, bishop b4 looks too powerful, pinning the knight, attacking the pawn on e4, so bishop d3. And now, again, I think bishop c5, getting my bishop out, castling, rook e8, that looks very good, but if you want to equalize, or even more, get an advantage, I think d5 is the way to go. It is a freeing move, and we got a minor piece, an extra minor piece out. So this is definitely better for black, even if it is a tiny plus, but it is a plus. So we take it. And with d5 we also get rid of white's center. So queen d1, very passive. And now let's analyze queen e3, which is by far the main move. And here we play knight f6. We have other possibilities. You can also check out this move, bishop b4 check. This deserves some consideration because if he plays knight c3, then he's just pinning himself. Bishop d2, well, I can just take on d2, but the main idea is seen if he plays c3. Then I can play something like bishop a5, and then as you can see, I'm having an extra target on e3 now. And the bishop on b6 is going to be good. It's like when he plays queen e3, I cannot occupy the b6 f2 diagonal, so I play bishop b4 in order to do so, with bishop a5 and bishop b6. But I think knight f6 is the best move. We develop a piece. As we'll see in the main line, we will play with bishop b4 check, or bishop b4, even if it's not a check. But I think playing knight f6 first is the way to go. And white, he usually plays knight c3. He has to. If he plays a move like e5, I think here he is playing with fire because he doesn't have any development, and we simply have a move like this. Attacking the queen, attacking the pawn on e5, and here he has to play queen e2. If he plays a move like queen e4, I think we can just take on e5 this way or the other way as well. I mean, we have... It looks like we are going to lose a piece, but he has no development. So after queen e2, I can play this, and after c3, I've got a move like this. This is crazy, but as you can see, because of the fact we have more development, we can afford playing like this. No matter what he plays, rook e8 is coming, and then we'll have a discovered move with our knight, to say the least. I know this looks like computer stuff, but we have to understand he has no development, so we can afford playing like this. And after queen e4, he can react in the same way we react against queen e2. If he plays queen f4, I can just take, and then he cannot win the piece. So after queen e2, let's see how black reacts here. We can try taking on e5, but then he plays f4, and we'll lose a piece. Even if we have counterplay, we lose the piece. So after queen e2, I like the simple d6. We protect the knight. We also attack the pawn on e5, and the key is, if he takes, then I just play bishop e6. He's taking with check, so I play bishop e6. Suddenly, there was no way for him to win a piece. He took on d6, he's likely to take on c7. I don't see anything else for white. And as you can probably see here, after pawn takes, queen takes, we have a huge development advantage. It's like we are all over the place as black. We can even castle queenside. We've got the d file. This has to be a winning advantage already. And if you check this with that computer, you'll see we have 3 extra points at this position. So this is not a good line for white to play this e5, but it is good to understand why. And it's also good to understand the ideas, because here after e5, it's not about memorizing how to deal with e5. It's about understanding why e5 is a bad move. And we know this is a bad move because he has no development, because we play this. After queen e2, we can try taking the pawn on e5, and then we can try playing like a computer, but there's no need. We can play d6. We sacrifice a pawn, sure, but then we play bishop e6, and we are going to outplay him because he's got no development. Simple. Let's check other lines. And by the way, I saw these lines on a very good book by Grandmaster Lissich. I think this book is from 2012 or 2013, but I saw these lines there. Queen e2, d6. White, he can try playing something like h3. Here we take. He's winning a piece, or it looks like he's going to win a piece, but he's just moving his pawns. His king is weak. And here we have a move like knight d4. Queen e4. Otherwise, I mean, if queen d1, I have queen h4 check. And yeah, if he plays anything else, I'll take the queen or the c2 pawn. So queen e4, queen h4 check, king d1, knight to e6, and white, he cannot even take the knight on e5. Once we play knight e6, we successfully unpin, and as you can see, if he takes the knight, we take the queen. Not only we have an extra pawn, we also keep our huge development advantage. He can try this move, but then I would consider taking the g3 pawn, but this move is simple. He cannot take the knight again. There's always something hanging for white, and then after knight c3, c6. And honestly, I feel, yeah, white is running out of gasoline at this point. He's got the king on d1. The engine says this is clearly better for black, but I think we are looking at decisive advantage already. We'll castle, one day we'll end up playing d5, his king is there, so yeah, decisive advantage for black. And this is just one of the examples we have with h3. Maybe f3 is like another line, but here I can just take the pawn on e5, and after f4 I've got this move, queen e3. Here I can even play queen d7. Amazing. We don't care about the knight on e5, but we know again we are outplaying him because of his lack of development. Now we castle queenside. All sorts of moves are coming, and in practice I believe white is just toasted. Even though the computer says it's equal, in practice we know it's different. And after, just to complete this line with this quick e5, which is dubious, e5, knight here, queen e2, d6, remember this move, remember the concept of development. F3, you can also play this move. And again, if takes bishop e6, and the same concept, development and more development. And after f3, this, if he takes on h6 for some reason, this move is good already because we win the bishop pair. And whenever he takes on d6, I've got bishop e6. But this move might be even stronger. Queen h4 check. I don't even have to destroy or auto-destroy my pawn structure. I just take on h6 with my queen. And this takes. He can take with check, bishop e6, and again, this is, in practice, this is almost impossible to hold as white. And if he plays a move like d7, which is quite funny, we just take with the king. We cannot take with the bishop, so we take with the king, obviously. Rook d8, king c8, and we still have the bishop pair, we still have the development advantage, and it's all blacks. So now, I mean, we start understanding that in this line, white is risking too much. I mean, he's moving the queen after all, with queen d4, queen e3. And after knight f6, during next chapter we'll see the main move from white, which is knight c3. But I think we need to see e5 first, because it is not going to be played often, but if you're not prepared, then you can get into trouble. White is sort of bluffing, but we need to call his bluffs, and that is what we are doing in this first video. During next video, we'll see knight c3, and we'll see how the main line goes. So I hope you found this chapter useful. I hope you could learn something, and of course I want to see you guys in my next video. Thank you.